This is the Mafate X, the biggest, tallest shoe that HOKA has ever made. Remember the idea that trail running was best done wearing small, barefoot running shoes? Or no shoes at all? Yeah, so this idea has fallen way out of style, and I actually think we've reached the whole other end of the pendulum. I realized this last month when I attended the Canyons Endurance Runs in Auburn, California. There, HOKA was launching their new shoe, a behemoth they call the Mafate X. Mafate, which is the Malagasy word for lethal, and X, the HOKA word for there's a carbon plate in there. The Mafate X is a Frankenstein monster of a shoe, meant to survive a nuclear apocalypse or the next closest thing, a 100-mile race. Let's look at how it's made. You have a light woven upper that retains no water and helps the shoe drain after crossing over wet terrain. And then directly under the foot is a thin layer of dense Puma foam, which is the same type of foam that HOKA would use in their racing shoes to add a little bit of speed and propulsion. Then directly under that Puma layer is a carbon plate that's forked on both ends to reduce a little bit of weight and to add flexibility. And then directly under the carbon plate is this dual density foam chassis. So that's your EVA foam that's there for shock absorption and comfort, which is a good counterpart to the upper layers that are more so there for bounce and rigidity. And then at the very bottom is this big Vibram Mega Grip outsole that extends all the way to the front to create this toe cap to protect the shoe in some rocky or tough terrain. And this outsole has 3mm lugs, which makes it super grippy, and it also has a little sense of humor. Look closely, you'll see some pizzas and some tacos. I guess that's the two major food groups of trail running. And all of this makes this shoe huge. We're 49mm off the ground, so that's like 2 inches. When I put this shoe on, I finally hit 6 feet tall, which I love, but also we're pretty heavy. So when I lifted the Mafate X in my hands for the first time, I was kind of taken aback at how much it actually weighed. In fact, it reminded me of another HOKA shoe, the Skyward X, which is essentially the road version of the Mafate. It's got 2 big layers of foam, a carbon plate, it's very highly stacked. And the Skyward X taught me something. Power can actually offset weight. If a shoe is heavy, but it has all the carbon and all the foam to make you bounce off the ground, even if you don't feel like you're fast in the shoe, even if your stride feels like it's loping and it's slow, you'll look down at your watch and realize that you're actually moving pretty quickly. And so I wondered if the Mafate X would create the same type of effect on the trail. So I took this shoe for a first wear test and quickly felt like I was really high off the ground. And that scared me because some HOKA shoes that I've worn in the past have been really mushy. And I thought, ugh, a combination of height and mushy cushion would probably get me to roll an ankle around a tree root somewhere. But instead, the shoe was so dense that it just bulldozed its way through the trail. I actually really liked the way that they felt. And the good thing with HOKA is that after a while, you start to know what to expect. They have a couple features in all of their shoes that kind of make the entire series feel somewhat the same. So one of them is this active foot frame that keeps your midfoot and your heel somewhat locked and prevents like some weird side-to-side motion that you might come to associate with super cushioned shoes. So I felt pretty stable on the ground. And then another part is the meta rocker. So this is like the mechanism that gets you from heel to toe. This one is a moderate meta rocker, whereas the Skyward X here is more of an aggressive one, so you don't quite get this whole push onto your toes here with the Mafate X, but you still get a good amount of propulsion forward. And overall, I found that the Mafate X was super reminiscent of the Skyward series, which is odd to me because I figured that it would feel more like the Tecton series or the Speedgoat series, which are HOKA's other trail shoes. But in fact, it's a lot more like the Skyward. The Mafate X is a lot heavier than the Speedgoat series, and I'd say is a bit less aggressive and more durable than the Tecton series, like the Tecton X3 being HOKA's other prime trail shoe. So let's rate the Mafate X, starting as always with design. I think we were most generous with the design because I do really like a couple of its elements. The forked carbon plate is a pretty innovative thing. good for flexibility, also cuts weight. I thought that was kind of genius. And I mean, the pizzas and tacos are also fun if you want a bit of personality in your shoes. And overall, it just hits this like good balance between cushion and aggressiveness. So design-wise, 8.6. Next up is performance. Now, the Mafate X has a few high-performing elements to it, but we still dinged it a little bit because of its overall weight. Now, when you compare 12 ounces to what else is out there, I'm thinking the Adidas Terex Agravic Speed being under 10 ounces, and even the HOKA Speedgoat 6 now sitting at 9.8, it makes the Mafate X feel really heavy. Now, I get that the purpose is a little bit different. It's made to last a long time, but still 12 is a lot. So we have it down at 7.4. Third is comfort. Now, my expectations were low. For such a highly stacked trail shoe, I thought I was gonna fall all over the place. That totally wasn't the case. I was pleasantly surprised here, 7.8. And finally, value. We're sitting at a bit of a high price point, but this is a durable shoe, and so we need to give it a bit of grace. Still on our scale, it gets a 7. So that brings our overall rating of the HOKA Mafate X to 7.7 out of 10. So what's the verdict? Should you buy the Mafate X? Now, I don't think this is the fastest shoe in the world. It's also not its purpose. You can find something more aggressive in the Tecton line. You can find something lighter in the Speedgoat line. But if you want a shoe that'll go the distance, that's durable, that's versatile in wetness and bad and tough terrain, I think this is a good pick for you. And also, the supercritical foam and carbon plate can make it move. So I've talked about how it's heavy and how it's durable. I don't want the fact that it's fast to get lost on you here, because it does have a lot of muscle to it. Think again of the Skyward X. If you've tried the Skyward X on the roads, this is like a very good analog. This is the trail version of it. So it's got some wheels to it too, on top of being super durable. I maybe wouldn't reach for the Mafate X if you're into shorter races, but if you're eyeing a 100-miler, I think this is a great shoe for you. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to share it with someone else who might think the same. Our goal is to connect with as many runners as we can, just like you, and a share goes a long way. Now, happy running, and until next time.